Do you think the market is underestimating the tightness of the physical supply?
朋友们，我待会儿采访的这位 CEO 大佬，曾在伦敦金属交易所、洲际交易所和伦敦传奇投行 Morgan Grenfell 任职，金融从业生涯比我的岁数还大。我们来听一下伦敦金融城的资深老炮是如何理性看待黄金、白银的历史性行情和白银实物紧缺的问题。
So hi, Mr. Duncan. It's a great honor to have you here. So the market of gold and silver seems trading a once-in-a-lifetime trend. Ordinary investors just see the price action, but behind the price, what kind of new era are we facing at?
I guess this isn't so much a price story, it's a monetary trust transition. If you're a typical trader, you might look at a price chart. As a professional, you want to be watching everything that's sort of happening behind the curve. Yeah. As we just mentioned earlier, what are banks actually doing? If they're storing more gold, silver, are they concerned about the dollar itself? Now, if the dollar is under strain, it will filter down into the market. There's also been this physical movement, as we talked about, from west to east, and again, tech and the usage of products, certainly with silver, you can see it in the EV sort of environment, and huge data centers now being built, etc., etc. Also, there's been a potential of sanctions globally, financial controls that have been sort of put in place. I think it's a reassessment of the sort of natural reserve asset. We've always thought of gold as being there. Traders not utilizing it to trade just because it's exciting. It's becoming important because it is boring, but it is liquid, and politically, which is very important nowadays, it's a neutral. So less about speculation, more re-anchoring of trust in the system.
We talk about silver, absolutely a historical performance. We're talking about $100. The short squeeze caused by the shortage of inventory is the key point. You're right here in the Global Trading Center, London, LBMA. How dangerous is the physical inventory right now?
I think we've seen anecdotally, you have to look at a number of factors. One being how much silver is available, how can I deliver it, at what time can I deliver it? Institutions have to work this out. And this, again, sort of reiterating the concept of a regulatory structure. All these elements should be in place that allows for the easy flow of product of silver from one place to another. The problems you get is when you're meant to be delivering and you're not able to deliver. You can see that back in the day in the old with the Hunt brothers in the 70s. And it only took a regulator to change one tweak that actually eased up the whole delivery process. So as we see the movement up now, we might see increased margins. We might see a regulatory shift that actually softens the physical need to deliver, and indeed other institutions looking for ways to complete their contracts without having to deliver.
Do you think the market is underestimating the tightness of the physical supply? Will the risk of the silver squeeze continue to explode with each contract delivery, like March, May, July, September, to where's the end of the squeeze of the silver?
I'm a great believer in the markets. They will eventually equalize, So, very rarely will you do find real squeezes. You can look at cocoa last year, for instance, which was an interesting one. But back to silver, and indeed possibly gold. Silver is a lot harder to get your hands on. But once everyone understands exactly where the real flows are, if it isn't indeed a squeeze, then there will be some equilibrium. But again, you have to factor in geopolitical uncertainties. And I think we all agree that's one of the main drivers of this recent maneuver.
The last question. The traditional fiat system is clearly under pressure. The central banks are increasing their gold holdings, but institutional allocation is still really low. Do you think the consensus will grow? Will institutions become the new marginal buyers of the gold? Can we expect a 5,000 gold or 100 or 200 silver? So what's your opinion about this?
It's difficult to sort of determine price per se, but if you look at banks, they're not buying it because of price activity. They are buying it because it's a trust element for them. You look at institutions, they typically have to go through a number of processes in order for them to take advantage of this sort of activity. Whatever their legal ramifications are, they've got to ensure that their shareholders want them to engage in this sort of activity. So it's probably a slightly different game for institutions per se right now, but maybe the question is, in 5 years' time, where are the institutions and are they involved in this sort of activity? That will absolutely be a driver, I suppose, the silver, gold as a pure asset class as opposed to your typical equity bond. So I think it's up to the institutions now to determine exactly where they can operate in this sort of environment.
So thanks for sharing today. It's very helpful. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, thank you.